before?
Never. I'm going to say this is the kind of things you read about and you never, hit close to home before.
The Reuter farm is located on County Road 800 North, near 2 to 300 West in Shelby County. A lot of damage not only to one barn, but several barns, roofs taken off. Where the milking operation takes place, that was destroyed as well. Plus one of the large silos you can see that is moved off part of the foundation about a third of the way up. Large pieces of concrete protruding above and below the various staves that hold it in place as a result of the very high winds that struck. As the last notion, Tom Reuters said it looked as if the tornado kicked up its heels one more time and had to touch one more thing before it went out across his farm. Approximately a half a dozen cows were lost as a result of the tornado, in addition to the other property damage. He mentioned earlier that numerous cows have been moved to Rushville so milking operations could continue there. The $30,000 tractor and manure spreader a total loss, as the concrete from another smaller silo ended up on top of it. Even the tops of the silos were damaged. Shelby County Sheriff Rick Isgrigg talked to WSVL News from the command center and had comments of what the early operation was like the following day of the tornadoes in Shelby County and what was taking place not only as far as cleanup operation at the Reuter farm, but in other locations throughout the county as well, as officers keeping busy throughout the night. The command post manned by regular deputies and reserves as well, volunteer firemen on duty throughout the area. The command post set up at the Fairview Methodist Church, not far from the Reuter farm, where the majority of the damage was done. Any additional reports or changes in those? Still no one injured, I believe, and from that standpoint, the human element seemed to survive very well.
Yes, I believe they only treated 4 people in the Pleasant View area that had minor injuries. We're going to be obtaining their names and information for our report. As far as any other injuries in the county, we haven't had anything reported at this point.
What about roads blocked at this time? Are there still several, or has the list been reduced quite a bit? What's the status there?
The roads are pretty well opened up right now. The county highway responded yesterday pretty fast, and we were able to, along with neighbors, chainsaws cutting the trees, opening the roads. Right now in the 1000 North and 100 West, the major power lines that are across the road, that's the only road right now that we really have blocked, and we've set barricades up, and the power company's in working that, trying to get the power lines off the roadway so we can get that opened up.
Is that the large high-tension line, Indiana-Michigan line?
Yes, those are the ones that are just been snapped off to the base. Mm-hmm. There's been several of those damaged. The power crews are in the area, and they're hoping to have most of those cleared out within the next 2 days.
The command center that's set up at the Fairview Methodist Church, you expect it to be here through Tuesday evening or Tuesday night? Just what kind of timetable? Have any guess?
Right now we're going to be here all day and probably until late in the night. We'll probably move out maybe tomorrow morning. Depends on how the work is going. There's a lot of damage in the Pleasant View area, and then basically in 400 West to 100 West, covering from the frontage road all the way up to Fountain Town. There's about a mile stretch there going northeast where homes, barns, vehicles, power lines have been damaged, a lot of tree damage also.
One major power line is down, isn't it, and blocking a lot of roads?
Yes, there is.
It was hard to believe in the Pleasant View area, one of the large girders that holds the Shelbyville exit sign at that location completely bent over and touching the ground. The Collingwood residence and homes next door, partial roofs intact, the other part is gone someplace, scattered across a field. Cars parked in driveways scattered with mud, outbuildings in back with a lot of debris everywhere, torn up in shreds. A lot of trees were down, cedar trees in front of the one residence. You could smell the aroma of cedar in the air. But at the Fairview Methodist Church, almost a total loss, authorities feel. Both sides of the church, both walls on each side, completely blown out. Didn't take long for parishioners to gather at the scene to start collecting some merchandise, things that they were going to need for future services. Roof gone completely off the church. Part of the ceiling is even missing, but the pews are intact as they face the pulpit area. This is the Fairview Methodist Church, where the command post was sent up by Shelby County authorities as soon as they could get it in location or in position late Monday afternoon. Dollar loss not available there, nor is it in any place at this location, but could run $1 million in Shelby County alone, as authorities are finding more. Tammy Larkey, a student at Morristown High School, had a scary story to tell. As she was at home, sick Monday afternoon, she went to the church for shelter, as they had a key to that church. She went down to the basement area. That's where she sought refuge during the height of the storm. Little did she know that more damage would be occurring at the Fairview Methodist Church than what did at her home directly to the north. In the back of their residence, items strewn everywhere, limbs down, part of the roof missing above the bedroom window area, trees down in many locations across the road at the Jonas residence. It didn't take long for farmers to move in to bring their front-end loaders to move some of the trees out of the way, and our recreational vehicle lying on its side after it had been tossed about 90 degrees and spun around in the driveway. An outbuilding at the Jonas residence was completely destroyed as well. The contents was also receiving heavy loss. Mrs. Jonas was at home during the time of the storm as well, plus Tammy Larkey right across the street. Both were okay but visibly shaken from what they had experienced and witnessed from the loud noise and the rumbling. Jason Shelton also gave interviews for WSVL News as he was in the area, homesick from Triton Central High School that day. Nearby, parishioners carrying more items out into the awaiting cars. Other areas closer to Fountaintown sustained heavy damage. A swimming pool almost destroyed, if that's possible. All the areas around the swimming pool, plus a garage that contained a Model A, as well as an old Chevrolet, was destroyed from the strong winds that went through the southern edge of Fountaintown, then lifted over that community that was seen of earlier tornadoes and touched down and then into Hancock County. Nearby was a barn 2 stories high, 100 years old. Some of the barn contents were still there. The rest of it was gone and strewn throughout the area. The large I&M, or Indiana and Michigan power lines, could be seen. That was causing problems for authorities to get the lines out of the way. They could not do that. Crews had to come down from Fort Wayne, Indiana, to ground some of the lines across the roads so that could be grounded safely, but still no traffic could go across it. I&M crews coming in late Tuesday to start some of the work and cleanup to try to get the large high-tension lines back up off the road so vehicular traffic could travel again.